All right, what's up, guys? Chokosur here, and we're back with another Secret of Mana Randomizer Seed of the Week. This is number 252, and for this week, you guessed it, we have another Mana Tree Revival Seed for this week. All right, so I kind of lost count how many Mana Tree Revival Seeds we've had in a row. I think it's like, what, 5 or 6 in a row. Like I said, I lost count. I don't know. But anywho, we're off to find the mana seeds again to complete our goal for this weekly run. We do have 14 flags for this weekly run as well, so let's go ahead and check them out and see what we're dealing with. Starting off, we have a random starting character. It is what it says. Our starting character will be random. We don't know who it is. We also have restrictive logic, as always. Flamey drum and logic this week, so we will have to locate the flamey drum among the checks. We also have hard complexity in play, so the seed is going to try to put our progression items in harder to reach locations or behind chains or in silly spots or in lower priority spots. So we do have to keep that in mind as we play through the seed. We also have allow locked items. Now this is a flag that shows itself every once in a while. For those who don't know what this is, basically this flag will screw with the logic. For example, normally the axe will never be located in Doppelganger Cave. However, with allow locked items, the axe can very well be in Doppelganger Cave because why not? That's what allow locked items does. And it also means that you cannot have any access to the axe in that situation. So this applies to weapons, this applies to characters, this applies to elemental spirits, mana seeds, miscellaneous items like the Midge Mallet. So yeah, anything is fair game when it comes to allow locked items. So we will have to keep that in mind as well. Hints are enabled, so we want to pay special attention to hints and see if the seed will give us any hints on what's locked out of the seed. We also have starter gear. It is what it says. We will be starting off with all 3 pieces of the weakest gear instead of just one. So basically, it caps out our evasion for level 1. Uh, and we can sit on our starter gear if we need to, if we don't find any cash, just like we did with last week's seed. Um, so yeah, we will be starting off with 3 pieces of armor. Random character roles. It is what it says. So the roles of the boy, the girl, and the sprite, they will possibly be randomized amongst each other. The unique flag is not checked, so that means it is possible for us to have duplicate roles. So we could end up with, 3 sprites or 3 girls or 3 boys or any combination of the 3. Keep in mind, as I just said, locked items is a thing, so there is a possibility that a character could be locked out of the seed, and we could have access to only 2 characters. We don't know that. So we will have to keep a close eye on what we find here. Low chest drops and no chest traps. It is what it says. Chests will be dropping less frequently than they normally do. However, the chests that do drop will always have either gold or an item. No traps. So we won't be seeing like bomb traps and poison needle traps and all that other good stuff. They won't be in the chests at all. Speed up improvements disabled. This flag basically nerfs the girl's gnome, so that speed up will not allow us to get auto run or quick charge on our weapons. Speed up is basically going to act as it does in vanilla, which basically means it does pretty much nothing. Enemy type status ailments. We also have a random amount of required seeds. We don't know what that value is. However, the minimum seeds required is 6. So that means we need to find at the very least 6 mana seeds in order to complete the run. We may need 7 seeds, or worst case scenario, we need all 8 mana seeds. But again, locked items is a thing. So there could be a case where there's a mana seed or 2 mana seeds locked out and we have no access to them. So it very well could be 6 seeds required, or it could be 7, or it could be all 8. We don't know. Last but not least, we have a 400 gold start. So right away, we got locked items, hard complexity, and that tells us that this possibly could be a rude seed, depending on what gets locked out, depending on what gets randomized where. We also have random character roles to consider, so we don't know what characters we're going to find, what roles they're going to have. If we have access to all 3, we don't know if we will have access to sprite magic or girl magic or anything like that. So this one could be pretty mean, depending on where things are. All right, so let's get started. All right, starting off with the sprite. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so 45 HP on the sprite means that the sprite is the girl, which means the sprite is going to be slinging around girl magic this run. All right, sword start. Always nice to see. Go ahead and look at that right now. Okay, agility thunder, not bad. All right, Forgotten Land for the Midge Mallet. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and check the shop here. Ooh, okay, Kung Fu dress and raccoon caps are there, which is actually really nice to see. So we might be coming back there. I could pick up that Kung Fu dress right now, except I want to go to Upperland. All right, so we drop a save there just in case there's nothing in Moogle Village. So right away we have several options. We have Mantis Ant, of course. We have the sword pedestal, of course. We know that Mantis Ant spot always drops a sword orb, and we do have the sword, so chances are we may be keeping what's at Mantis Ant. But first, we're going to check out Upperland here. We're going to check the orb in Upperland Forest. We're going to check out the Moogle Village chests. And then we're probably just going to reset because there might not be anything there. It is hard complexity, but you never know. The game might put something there that we could use. All right, Lumina is our orb. So seeing that means 2 things. 1, there's probably no sprite magic early, and 2, there's probably no sprite magic at all. It's very possible. This could be a sprite magicless seed. Okay, $1,000 I do want to keep, so I'll take that. I'm gonna go ahead and kill some of these guys and get this weapon up to level 1 real quick. There we go. Chest? No. Alright, so we do have hints turned on, so we're gonna go shoot back to Protos here. We do have some things we want to do here, like we want to check out Mantis Ant, we want to see what's at the sword pedestal, we want to get our hints as we work our way to Gaia's Navel. We have 1,300 gold now, so we are definitely going to stop by the shop and pick up those, pick up that Kung Fu dress and that raccoon cap that we saw earlier. And that'll give us a nice head start on defense for our early game. And remember, we are the girls, so we can wear this Kung Fu dress on our sprite. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and sell this off. And sell that off. So at level 1, we are sitting on a whopping 40 defense, which is huge for this part of the run. So whatever's here, we shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Tiger. Yeah. Phase 1. Nope. Alright, we got a pretty bad pattern here, unfortunately. Yeah. This is probably the worst pattern that we can get because he's just spamming spells in phase 2. And we can't manipulate him in phase 2. Bite down. Good job. Again. Good. One more time. Nope. Yeah. Alright, so chances are we're going to keep the sword orb that's here. Because we do have the sword, and I mean, we're on our way to Guy's Navel anyway, so we're probably going to forge it to level 2. Okay, yeah, we take that. 600 bucks, we will take that. Alright, so we're going to drop yet another save. And we're going to see what's on the sword pedestal. You can also check out the hint that's out here as well. I kind of want to see if these wolf lures are dropping money. But I'll do that on the way back. If there's anything here, that is. Alright, so I didn't see anything on that hint there, so that's unfortunate. Alright, sword pedestal has nothing. Alright, so that's a reset. Okay, so nothing in Vapite Forest, unfortunately. So now we're going to come down here. We're going to get the rest of our hints. I don't think there was a hint on this first sign. Not that I saw. Oh, we got trap flowers. That's unfortunate. Alright, Luna in a tower. Okay. Alright, they're dropping chocolates. Glove and the Empire. Okay, let's be careful. We don't want to get put to sleep here. Alright, Shade is early. Okay, so seeing that hint says that there is someone with Sprite Magic in the seed. And that was Moon Seed in a volcano, that last hint there. So we know there is a seed in Pure Land. Okay, we need to be careful here because these flowers are going to try to put me to sleep here. Sneak down, try not to get slapped here. Yeah, he got me. I tried to sneak up on him and hit him, but wasn't meant to be. Alright, Lumina is early. Yeah, we kind of figured that. Nothing there. I really don't want to be fighting those since this weapon's going to knock them unconscious. Yeah. And pebblers, we can't hit them with them unconscious, unfortunately. We can kill this guy, though. Yeah. Yes. Just. It is low chest drops, unfortunately. Alright, we're gonna go for the magic rope chest first. Yeah. Okay, there's the sea hare tail. We take that. We can turn that in later. Once we get to Kakara, we can turn that in. Alright, 1,200 bucks on watts. We're gonna go ahead and forge this weapon to level 2 and see what we get here. Okay, light intelligence. Okay. Alright, Javel up there. Salamando. Okay, there's another sword orb. I could forge that. Let me check the shop first because I want to see if I can find something like Power Wrist. Ivy Amulet would be actually huge right now because we know there's trap flowers out there. Ooh, chest guards there though. Nah. We can sit on our Kung Fu dress for now. I don't need chest guard that bad. What I am going to do, though, is save. And then forge this weapon. And we want to save just in case we get like a trash weapon or something. Alright, Sting. Is Con and Ice. Alright, so we are going to save split these bosses and see what's on them. Ugh. Oh, we gotta reset. Hold on. No. We gotta revert back to level 2 because that level 3 sword is actually not gonna do any damage to that thing. So we gotta fight with the level 2 sword instead. Yeah. Hydra's one of those bosses that has defense and magic defense. So if I had kept that level 3 sword, we wouldn't be doing damage to this boss at all. Not even with level 1 charge attacks. We'd be doing a lot of zeros. Wow, you got me mid-charge attack. Yeah, we're not doing a lot of damage to this thing, unfortunately. Like I said, he's got defense. And magic defense. So this might take a little bit. Nothing we can really do about it though. Let's just hope he doesn't cast Cure Water on himself. Which he definitely can. Yeah, Fire Breath, we don't care about that. Ah. Yeah. It's only for 30. Just took that from him and then some. There we go. Woo. Hydra, though. Not a boss you want to see early when you don't have a lot of damage. Unfortunately, there's nothing else we can do about it. Excuse me. All right, glove orb. There's Lumina and another glove orb. Okay, so we have to keep that. I wonder if I can forge that sword now. I might be able to forge it now. Yeah, we can try forging it now. Although I probably should have forged and then saved. Okay, Gorgon Bull. Charge. Nice. Nice, smooth fight. We just AI manipulate him. Pretty much all we did there. Force him to charge. That way we won't be dealing with Earth Slide and Defender and his blocking and whatnot. Alright, Jav Orb, nothing. Okay, that's a reset. Reload our save. We're gonna forge our sword again. Like I said, I probably should have forged this thing and then saved, but that's okay. Alright, we can just swap out here. I'm gonna try to get this sword up to level 3 before I go to Pandora. So I'm gonna take some fights here. There's a trap flower there. I don't want to bother with that. We don't want to get slept. Level 2. This one up here. Trap flowers early is such a headache because there's really nothing we can do about them right now. Okay, level 6. Okay, let me leave the screen before he sleeps me. Alright, Fire Final is dead, so we don't have to worry about Fire Palace. The Fire Palace pedestal, anyway. Alright, let's check the shop and see what we got going on here. Ooh, yes. Yes, 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 indeed. We absolutely picked this up. We know there's trap flowers outside, and we don't want to be dealing with them mofos, so we are most definitely going to pick this up. This is one of those cases where we do want to pick up Ivy Amulet. And that way, we don't have to get put to sleep. Alright. We're down to 300 gold, but that's fine. Is my sword level 3 yet? It should be. Okay, now it is. Alright. Alright, Fairy Walnut, we take that. We're getting air blasted, unfortunately. Yeah. We know you're gonna put me to sleep, but I ain't tired. This is why Ivy Amulet is such a powerful piece of gear, folks, because these guys will put you to sleep when they see you. And they're just aggravating to deal with early game, as you can see. Yeah. Ivy Amulet paying off for sure right there. Alright, so I guess we could check this. I don't really need to, but might as well. Might as well. Yeah, we picked this up. Because, I mean, we won't be dealing with trap flowers all game, of course. Like, against this upcoming boss, I'm probably gonna just swap to the power wrist. Oh, of course there's owls here. Of course. They're just throwing all the annoying early game, annoying enemies early game at me. Okay, they're in zombie spot, it looks like, so there should be one down here as well. One or two. Yeah. There should be one more, I think. Oh, he might not have spawned. I don't think he spawned, which is good. Alright, so we are going to swap to this for the +5 strength. Alright, we got what? Mech 3. Ugh. Okay, actually no, before I do that, let me throw 2 of these out. Get some damage on them. Yeah, speed up doesn't matter. Mech 3 is a boss that also has defense and magic defense. So that's why we're only doing 73 damage on a level 3 charge attack. Wow, 41. There we go. Man, this early game is kind of annoying. I will say that. Our problem is our offense right now, which it usually tends to be early game. Our defense is fine. Our defense is going to be fine for a while. It's just our offense is bad. Okay, there's the Earth Seed, which is nice. We will definitely take that. I honestly think I just forego looking at the shop here. We've seen chest guard, we've seen golden vest, we've seen IVs, we've seen raccoon caps, we've seen power wrist. I think we saw fancy overalls as well, I think. Alright, nothing on her. Okay, jab orb, bow orb, axe orb, bow orb. Okay, there's the boy. Came with the boomerang and the gold key. Okay. Alright, so the boy's here. Let me see. The boomerang is intelligence. You know what? I think I just give this to the sprite. Because we do have Lumina. Looks like the boy is himself as well. Okay, they're going to target you, so I'm actually going to give that to you. Alright, so the boy is there. Let me check sprite experience. 133. Okay, so nowhere near a level up. Alright, Undini is nowhere. So you know what that means? That means Undini is locked out of the seed. Nice. Alright, so I think the only check left is Undini's cave that we can do right now. I want to get this sword to level 1 at the very least. So what I think I'll do here is get some armor real quick for the boy. Sprite, did you level? Oh, you did. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me throw out a Lucent Beam real fast. I didn't realize he leveled up. There we go. Alright, so let's see. We can grab the raccoon cap at the very least. Yeah. So we can sell this. And we can keep that power wrist on the sprite for now. I'm going to swap the power wrist to the boy eventually. Alright, so we're going to drop a save. Now that we have a level 1 Lumina. And the sprite has an int weapon. We're going to check out Undini's cave and see what's there. I think that's pretty much, excuse me, pretty much all we can do right now in early game. So unless there's a flamey drum or like an axe or a whip or something here, or a water seed perhaps. And then we're probably going to upper land after this. Okay, Minotaur? Yeah. Ah, that was too early. We do have a walnut, but it's not worth it. It's not worth using it here. There we go. Yeah, not worth using a walnut there. I could have, though. Alright, so we check this. The chances are we reset, though. Depends what's here. Alright, Axel up there. Gnome and a whip orb. I'm actually gonna reset out of that. And the reason being is twofold. One, speed up improvements are disabled. And two, we're not guaranteed to get the girl. We might not even find her. And if she even has sprite magic, we don't know. Yeah, so I think I made the right call and just noping out of there. I know it's weird to reset out of Gnome when Gnome is one of the best elementals in the game, but in this particular situation, we don't really care about Gnome. We can't use the effects of speed up, so we leave him right where he is. And I highly doubt that we're gonna get the girl. I mean, we could get her. I could be wrong, but we don't know if she's gonna come in with sprite magic or not. I think she does have sprite magic because we saw a hint saying that Shade was early game, I think. So she might have sprite magic. But what we don't know is if the girl is locked out or not. That's what we don't know. And if we come across like a gnome orb somewhere, then I'll go back for that. But I don't think it's worth keeping right now. Just money? No, damn. I'm trying to get this sword up to level 3 for the boy as well, if I can. There we go. Alright, so we go to Kakara here. We can't go into Matango since we don't have the axe. Do we check Fire Palace Orb here? I could. I don't know how much information we'll get out of that, though. Because chances are we can't get through anywhere. Not to mention that the glove is sitting in the Empire. Alright, Spear's Orb from the Sea Hare's Tail, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and check and see what this is. Tiger Caps are here, but we can't afford them. Might as well pick this up for the boy. Sell this. Alright, we're off to Empire. Off to the Empire. Yeah, I feel as though going to Empire here, knowing that the glove is here, will put us in a little bit of a better position to check Fire Palace out of logic. But other than that, I don't see any reason of checking the Fire Palace orb. One, because there's like 9 out of 10 chance we're not getting through there, and two, it won't provide any information to us right now. Not much anyway. Aside from what element the orb is. So I think I'll just invest my time into coming into the Empire and look for the glove and get whatever else is here. Alright, so we got Captain Ducks, we got Tomato Man, we've got Master Ninjas in the sewers. We're not going to bother with any of these guys. We're just going to keep it moving. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to leave Gnome behind, but I feel as though in this situation, Gnome's not going to offer a lot. Gnome's not going to offer much. Aside from maybe Stone Saber. Okay, not needed Salamando for Grand Palace. Chrissy is literally blocking my way. Chrissy, please, move! Holy, are you serious right now? Chrissy. What the hell? Let me out, Chrissy. Thank you. Holy. God, you guys see that? Like, serious NPC blockage there. And Chrissy was like, you're not leaving. Alright, Ruby Vest, Silver Band. Pick up some of these, sure. Alright, let's go to the castle. I mean, my God, Chrissy. I know you like Randy and all, but damn, girl, control yourself. You trying to lock me in the house? We don't want to mess with those. Not with this weapon, anyway. Okay, this Sylphid. Oh, okay, well. Thanks for our flamey drum. Move out. Alright, let's grab this other chest first before we flame you on out of here. Let's see what this is. Alright, 600 bucks. Okay, whoop out. Alright, so flamey drum's in a nice easy spot. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna grab the rest of our freebies here. We've got 1 seed still. We have a sword. Early Pure Land is not looking so hot right now. I mean, we can do it, yeah, but we're not exactly in the best position to do it right now. Not with the level 1 Lucid Beam anyway. Maybe after our freebies we'll be in a better position. I don't know. We gotta see what we can find first though. Okay, there's our glove. Okay, Dragon and Thunder on the gloves. Now we can check that orb in Fire Palace. Actually, we can check that first chest in Fire Palace out of logic. All right, Javorp. We checked the back chest here. Mainly because it's allowed locked items. And we don't know what else is locked out of the seed. So we want to make sure we can get everything we can get our hands on this seed. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting seed so far. I mean, we found the flaming drum relatively quickly, considering our early game was kind of slow due to the boss fights. Alright, so we know where Luna is. We have the gold key, so I legit think I checked that, because if we can find Luna on one of those two chests. Oh wow, there's a seed back here. Yeah, if we can find Luna on one of those two chests, then that'd be really huge. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and check that. Yeah, I don't feel bad about checking this at all. Okay. I do want to drop a save though, in case there's nothing here. Because we know that Luna is in a tower, and in a tower refers to the Light Palace. So we're gonna go ahead and check this. Luna? No, money. Okay. Yeah, there's a walnut. We take that for sure. I'm looking for money here. Alright, this guy again. Actually, I might just go Thunder Saber here, instead of casting Lucent Beam. I think I'll get more mileage out of Thunder Saber, yeah. Ah. Bad timing. There we go. Yeah, I figured I'd get more mileage out of Thunder Saber there, instead of just throwing one Lucent Beam at this thing and calling it a day. Sometimes it's just not a wise idea to cast Lucent Beam. It just isn't. In this case, I would rather use Thunder Saber. Luna? Ooh, that's a Dark Seed though. Okay. We take that. We absolutely take that. Alright, so unfortunately we did not find Luna, so that means Luna is on the Light Seed pedestal. Confirmed. Unfortunately, we don't have the Light Seed, so we can't get to Luna right now, which is quite annoying, but I think we'll be okay. All right, Flamey Drum in Northtown. Ooh, that's actually a well-placed hint because if any runner decides to go Ice Country over Empire here, they'll see that hint and they'll most likely turn around and go back to Kakar and then go to Empire. At least that's what I would do anyway. Especially since I don't have a whip in this situation. So yeah, I think that's what most runners would do in that situation if they see that hint. If they go Ice Country over Empire. I mean, of course, I can't speak for the other runners, but if it were me, that's what I would do. I would turn right around and go back to Empire. All right, there's the Dryad seed. So we're looking at 4 seeds. Ooh. One of those seeds is the Wind seed, too. I might be done checking freebies, to be completely honest. But I don't want to miss a seed being on like a free check or something. Because we've already found, what, 2? I actually want to go to Mandala here and see if we can learn anything. Maybe we can learn about a water seed or a light seed, or we know where the moon seed is. We don't know where the water seed or the light seeds are. And we know... Do we know anything about the fire seed? I'm not sure. Okay, not needed gnome. Okay, nothing. Sea hare's tail in a cape. We already found that. Nothing there. Boy in a castle. We already got him. Okay. Oh, fire seed is nowhere. Okay, that's a good hint. All right, so the fire seed is locked out of the seed. So that tells us that the required amount of seeds cannot be 8. It has to be either 6 or 7. So, we don't know where the water seed or the light seeds are. We know the moon seed is in Pure Land. My money is kind of low. Oh, well, 1,700 is not that low. 1,700 is not that low. I kind of want to just check Tasnica, and then after Tasnica, we go to the Wind Palace. And level up our Lumina to level 4, and then go straight to Pure Land. I think that's probably the right play here. Because it doesn't feel good checking anything else after that anyway. I mean, yeah, I can turn in the Dryad seed. I could do that. Money? Damn. Well, we could sell that. Oh, not even randomized. We get a sword orb off of him. Not needed gnome. We don't care. Okay, woke up. We can sell the barrel for 300. And then pick up some walnuts. Yeah, I think this is the right call here. We go here and level up our Lumina after we kill... Oh, God, this guy again. Yeah, this is where I really wish I had Luna. But unfortunately, we can't get to her. Not without the light seed, anyway. Okay, Sprite, what if we do this? I'm gonna try something. Alright, Sprite, hold on. Might have you charged to level 1. Nice. There we go. Alright, so the plan is to power level Lumina to level 4. And then go to Pure Land. I mean, we know there's a seed there, but the minimum is 6 though. I don't know. It's possible there's more than one seed there too, so there is that. Alright, there's the whip and a boom orb. Okay. Alright, we got 3 MP, so we gotta heal. Alright, this is gonna take a little bit. Shouldn't take too long though. Alright, it should be 5 spells from level 3 to 4. Alright, last one. Yep. Alright, we're good. Alright, so Luminous level 4. How much money do I have? Alright, 2,200. With the barrel, that's 2,500. I probably should forge my sword one more time. That's gonna cost me 800. We don't want to go to Fire Palace. Although I kind of do want to see what's out of logic, but it's not really what I want to do right now. Okay, Surugi is Beast Intelligence Fire. Okay, good enough. And I think I'm just going to load up on Walnuts here. This should get me 3, right? So now we have 5. Okay, 5 should be enough though. Alright, let's save. And we're going to go straight to Pure Land. Yeah, I feel as though this is the right play here. We don't know what else is locked out. We know Undini's locked out. We know the Fire Seed's locked out. So there's only 3 seeds left that we can get. We know the Moon Seed is here. We don't know what else is here though. It's kind of why I want to just check. Let me check Spike's experience. Okay, 16. We don't want to kill anything else. We'll try not to anyway. I want Sprite to level off the next boss. Alright, Metal Mantis. Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's just a good idea to check your experience, because if I would have leveled back there before fighting this boss, I wouldn't have leveled up off this boss. Alright, Bow Orb. Oh wow, the Light Seed is here. I mean, I could go get Luna. Is it worth it though? Is it worth getting her? I don't know. I don't think it's worth getting her. Because I'd have to go back to the Light Palace to go get her. I want a Walnut here. Thunderbolt. Damn. That's unfortunate. I mean, leaving, flying to Light Palace, walking through, because we killed the boss. No, we didn't kill that second boss though. We didn't kill that second boss, so no, I don't think it's worth it. We know she's there, but I don't think it's worth going to go get her at this point. Okay, there's our Moon Seed. So now we have 6. So now we're looking at a possible go mode here. We don't know if we need 6 or 7. Okay, Sprite, did you level? I think you did. Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. Alright, hold on. Hold the phone. 824. How much MP do you have? 11. I want to check his experience. Okay, yeah, we leveled up this. So it's fine if we cast here. We want to make sure Sprite levels up after as many bosses as possible in order to cut back on using walnuts. We have 5, yes, but if there's a situation where I don't have to use a walnut, then I won't use a walnut. Okay, so nothing there. Or maybe we hit 4 here. Yep. That is 61. I may pop these enemies right here. Just to get some extra XP. 1025. We should be okay, I think. Oh, Doomswall? Oh, we got you. I think 2 kills him. I think. Oh, 1 killed him. Wow, okay. I wasn't expecting one to kill. It might have did like 800 damage. I don't know. I knew two was going to kill, but I didn't think one was going to kill. All right, Axe Orb. There's the spear. Again, we want to check XP, 1500. I think it's okay if we use walnuts here. There's only 2 bosses left. So we should be okay. If Sprite doesn't level up off this next boss, then that's fine. That's actually fine. I mean, I'm sitting on 5 walnuts, so. I mean, I'm not that stingy with my walnuts, especially at this stage. This guy again. Alright, he's gonna cast wall though. Yeah. 915 though. Whew. Nice. Very nice. Sprite probably does not level here. I don't think he does. And if he doesn't, that's fine. Oh, he does. Okay, never mind. Alright, Sword Orb, Glove Orb. Okay. So there is a chance we might be done with the seed. We don't know if we need 6 or 7 though. Okay. All right. So if we need a 7th seed, we need to go find the water seed. If not, then we're done. All right, Spears Orb. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Water seed is here. So wow, there were three seeds in Pure Land, which is kind of bonkers. Especially for hard complexity and allow locked items. 3 seeds here? It makes you wonder what else is locked out of the seed. Alright, so that's it for the seed because there's no way that we need 8 seeds with the fire seed being locked out. So that's either 6 or 7 and we have both. So it looks like we're getting a 103 something. All right. All right, so 103.13 is our time. That's actually a really solid time for this seed. Really solid time. I wouldn't be surprised if some runners sub out the seed. I won't be surprised, honestly. I think it's going to be a little tough to do that, but I don't think it's impossible to sub out the seed. But like I said, it's going to be pretty difficult. At least I think it's going to be pretty difficult. But yeah, 103.13 I think is a pretty solid time. So early on, the bosses were absolutely miserable. We had a Hydra we had to fight. We had Mech 3. We had several Mech 3s we had to fight. And both of those bosses have defense and magic defense. We had to reset out of Hydra because I forged my sword to level 3 and it was a ice element sword, and obviously Hydra is a ice element boss. And as I just finished saying, Hydra has defense, so there was no chance we were doing any sort of damage to that thing. So I had to reset and reset my sword back to level 2 so we can actually do damage to that thing. Unfortunately, that spot is required because Lumina's there. And Lumina is required to beat the seed since we needed her to get through the orb in Upperland Forest. So all runners have to do that Hydra fight. Pandora Ruins, I think, had the boy who came with the boomerang and the gold key. Now, the boy, while not technically needed this run, is a pretty big help this run because we don't have many sources of damage other than Lumina, obviously. And for those of you who've been watching my runs long enough, you know that I do not care for using Lumina on seeds because Lumina, you all know what I'm about to say. I'm about to shit on Lumina, and until Mapleton buffs Lumina in some way, I will continue to shit on Lumina. Lumina's just too expensive. She's way too expensive. All of her spells are just way too costly. Lucent Beam only feels worth using when it's a decent level, or if you have nothing else. And this was one of those cases where we had literally nothing else. So we had to just, suck our teeth and be mad and just grin and bear it. It is what it is. If we had some access to sprite magic, which we didn't, unfortunately, I'd be using that. But we never found any other elementals aside from Sylphid, which, even Sylphid would have been good to use if I had sprite magic, but again, we didn't have access to sprite magic this run. So yeah, this was one of those cases where Lumina is the only thing I got. Lumina is the only friend I got, and she has to pretty much carry the seed along with the boy and his sword. That's pretty much all I had, and that's all we really had to work with, which, unfortunately. So anywho, early game, pretty standard. We start out with $400. We see some good armor in the shop. Upperland gets you $1,000. You can take that, go back to Potos, buy a Kung Fu dress and a raccoon cap for the sprite, and he's pretty much set for the rest of the run. Mantisan has $600 as well as a sword orb, which I feel in this situation is probably a nice thing to have. I can see runners sitting on the level 1 sword, but with all the mech 3s running around this seed, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. So I feel as though you definitely want to level up some kind of weapon on the seed, whether it be the sword or the boomerang, perhaps, maybe the glove. But yeah, we fought like 3 of those guys. And like I said before, Mech 3 has defense, it has magic defense. You don't want to be toting around level 1 weapons and not have a way to charge on them, because there is a point where you will be doing big fat zeros to that thing. It's going to happen at some point. So Mech 3 kind of forces you to level up your weapons so you can actually do damage to the thing. And again, we don't have sprite magic, so we don't have that as an option. We only have our best friend Lumina as an option. So it is what it is. Flamey Drum was in a nice clean spot, sitting in one of the free chests in Northtown Castle. So you pick that up. Now, I imagine a lot of runners are going to go to Northtown Ruins to at least check the freebies. But however, there was a seed in the back chest, and I know some runners don't like checking that, so that may come to bite them later on. I don't know. Depends on how they run their seed. But I felt as though we better check everything because we don't know what's locked out. And we might need whatever's back there. Thankfully, there was a mana seed back there. So we picked that up. Um, we also decided to follow some of our hints. Luna being in a tower means that she's sitting in the Light Palace. We do have the gold key. We got that from the treasury. So it's worth at least a peek to check Light Palace chests. It's worth at least killing that first boss to get to that second chest to look for Luna. Because in this seed, Luna would have been fantastic to have. Fantastic. But unfortunately, Luna was sitting on the pedestal, so we couldn't get to it without the light seed. But we did find the dark seed back there. So it's pretty much a constellation prize, a good constellation prize, because we do need the dark seed to finish the run. So I won't be surprised if runners decide to follow the Luna hint and go to Light Palace looking for her, only to find the dark seed. So it's not Luna, but it is something that you do need to finish the run. So I won't imagine runners being overly upset about that. So yeah. So that was another free seed. We had another free seed in the Ice Palace. So I imagine most runners are going to find that eventually. So you get a total of three free seeds. You got the Dryad seed, the Wind seed, and the Dark seed. All of those are free. You get the Earth seed from killing Wallface. Well, killing the boss at Wallface spot anyway. So you get to a point in the run where you have 4 seeds, you have a light elemental, and you have possibly an int weapon. And you have a sword. So I'm thinking, why not just clear out Pure Land? Because 1, we need to know how many seeds we need to finish it. And 2, we have the option to power level Lumina to level 4. And that will speed up the boss fights there drastically. Which it did. So I mean, I can't see a world where runners don't go early Pure Land here. I don't see it. Yeah, so especially since we got a hint saying that the Moon Seed was in a volcano, so I imagine most runners are going to do an early Pure Land run, or as early as they can anyway. With a level 4 Lumina, level 3 Lumina, or whatever. If they decide to level up their Lumina at all, which, I mean, you can. I feel as though Lumina was our best source of damage this seed. Especially since we can't get to Luna. So, fortunately, we do find the Light Seed in Pure Land on the first spot. Now, there is a world where a runner has the information that Luna is in Light Palace and sees that Light Seed and says, oh, maybe I'll take a minute or two to go back to Light Palace to get Luna off of that light pedestal and then come back to Pure Land. I honestly don't see that as a bad play. I mean, you'll lose some time for it, sure, but the question is, will you get that time back though? I don't know. I don't know. I think if speed up improvements weren't disabled, then maybe you could get some of that time back, but I don't think so. At at best, you probably break even, maybe. I decided to stay. I mean, I felt as though she wasn't worth going back for, even though I knew where she was. But I mean, I'm trying to think. Leaving Flamian out of Pure Land, flying over the Gold Isle takes about what 10 seconds, probably less than that. Walking through Light Palace, killing the second boss, whatever it was, and then getting Luna off of that pedestal. And then you have to rope out, fly back to Peel Land, which is another around 10 seconds. Depending on how long that boss takes to kill, I imagine you have a decent level Lumina at that point, so maybe it won't take that long. We don't know what that boss was either, so I can't really say. So let's just guesstimate about 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, maybe close to 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's worth going back to get her, even though you know or you have the information of where she is. I don't think it's worth going back for her. So yeah, that's why I decided not to go back for Luna rather, and just rely on Lumina and the boy with his level 4 sword. That's pretty much all we had. We also found the moon seed in the second spot. We knew the moon seed was there due to a hint. So that gives you 6 seeds, and now you say to yourself, okay, I could possibly be in go mode because we know that the minimum is 6. And if the runner goes to, where was it, Mandala? I think that one hint was in Mandala. Yeah, I think it was. Where the hint says you can find the fire seed nowhere. That tells you that the fire seed is locked out of the seed, and it also tells you that it's not possible for the game to require you to get all 8 seeds to finish the run. So now the maximum drops down from 8 to 7. So now you know that information, you see that moon seed, and you have 6 seeds. You're feeling pretty good going through Pure Land. The only little hiccup is that water seed. We don't know where that is. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, 6 seeds. Now we're gambling a little bit. We're kind of coin flipping on 6 seeds being required. But I'm going to push through anyway and see what else I can find. Thankfully, that water seed was in the last spot in the Pure Land, which made everything come together. So you get your 7th seed right there at the end, and that's it. Yeah, so pretty interesting seed. I'm curious to see how many how runners ran this seed, honestly. I'm also kind of curious as to what else was locked out. We knew that Undini was locked out. We knew that the fire seed was locked out. There was a world where I could have gone to Fire Palace to check the orb, but I felt as though it wasn't really necessary. Not to mention, we don't have the glove. We don't have any elementals aside from Lumina. So there's really no point. I mean, I guess for the information, but I don't know. With the information, I don't think it would have done too much good. I don't know. Also, I feel as though, let's see, what else did we not find? We didn't find the axe, we didn't find the bow or the javelin. We noped out of Gnome, and I already explained why during the run, but I'll explain why again. So seeing Gnome usually is a good thing. Usually, like 9 out of 10 times, getting Gnome is spectacular. You love to see him. On a seed like this, however, when speed up improvements are disabled and we don't have any sprite magic, Gnome is not really worth picking up because we can't take advantage of speed up, and we don't need Defender all that bad, and we don't really need Stone Saber all that bad. So I felt as though it's not really worth keeping because we really can't make any good use of it, especially since we don't have sprite magic. So that's why I decided to nope out a Gnome. And I imagine some runners might have done the same thing, but who knows. All right, anyway, 103:13 is our time. It is Friday as I'm recording the seed. I know it's kind of early for me to run these. I usually run these on a Saturday or Sunday, sometimes Monday, whenever I get time to do it. But I had time today uh, to run this seed. So I think what I'm going to do is put this time in right now. I don't know who else finished the seed. Like I said, this seed just came out like, what, 6 hours ago, I want to say. So we're just going to put this in right now. So get 103:13. Yeah, so we're pretty much the first one to finish this seed. No one else has completed the seed yet. Uh, but yeah, I feel there are going to be some runners to sub hour the seed, and I won't be surprised. Um, probably like Egg or somebody like that. Um, yeah. So with that said, actually, before I sign off, my curiosity has got the best of me right now. So what I'm gonna do is load up the autosave. Oh, I have to actually load up the Kakara saves because it sends you right to the end if you do that. So I actually want to see. I want to look in Fire Palace. And this is just to satisfy my own curiosity. Now, chances are we can't get through here. But I'm curious to know what this orb was. Oh, wow. So, oh, geez. So Undini's locked out of the sea. That means everything in the Fire Palace is locked out. Logically, it is. That's not to say we can get this first chest out of logic, because we certainly can. I don't think 3 works, right? Sure it does. 3 works. Get up there. There we go. I'm curious what this is, because everything in here is locked out of the seed. We have no access to any of this. Holy crap. Wow. That is actually pretty insane. Okay, this is a Sylphid orb, which we do have Sylphid. Oh my god. There's Salamando. Okay. So Undini's locked out of the seed, which means the axe is locked out of the seed, which in turn means everything in Dark Palace, Doppelgangers, and Sunken City is locked out as well, because we can't get to the axe. And also Salamando is here, which means the Earth Palace is locked out. Oh god, that's a lot of stuff that's locked out of the seed. All because of no Undini. That is actually wild. So we're looking at what? Like 12 checks that are locked out? Yeah, that's a whip orb. Don't care about that. Okay. I'm still trying to see what else is locked out here. That is actually insane. Having all that locked out just because of Undini. So everything in the Dark Palace is locked out as well. So Dark Palace, Doppelgangers, Sunken City, and Earth Palace is locked out as well. And we know the Fire Seed is locked out as well. So the Fire Seed might be behind one of these. More than likely it is, if it's locked out. We got a hint for the mallet. Salamander's locked out of the seed. Okay, there's the javelin. That's locked out as well. Undini's locked out. Salamander's locked out. Shade was early, I believe. We got a hint saying Shade was early, so Shade might be at the Witch's Castle. I actually want to check Earth Palace here, because we know Salamander was locked out as well. Luna's at the Light Seed pedestal. We don't know where Dryad is either. So it's possible Dryad could be locked out of the seed as well. Holy moly. Yeah, this is inaccessible. This is inaccessible too, because Salamander's locked out of the seed. I'm just curious to see what was in here. I'm thinking Shade has to be at the Witch's Castle though. Either that or behind the Water Seed pedestal. Because it said that Shade was early. It didn't say Shade was locked out of the seed. So I'm assuming Shade is at Witch's Castle or behind the Water Seed pedestal. Huh. Okay, this is just gonna kill this guy real quick. This is an interesting loadout for this rando, or for this particular seed. The axe is locked behind Undini, which we can't get to Undini. So is Salamander. Oh my gosh, the girl was locked out of the seed. That's insane. I think she comes with the bow, I think, because we found the spear. Yeah, she came with the bow. And she had our sprite magic. Ew, what is this seed? What is this seed though? So basically we are locked out of Sprite Magic this seed. It's in the seed, but we can't get to it. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. So Undini locked out of the seed. We need Undini to get in the Fire Palace. And but we have the glove and the sword to hop the wall. And that first check is the axe. The second check, which is blocked by Sylphid, which we had, was Salamando. And Salamando is required to get into the Earth Palace where we are now. The whip was... I think the whip was somewhere. Where was the whip at? The whip was behind the Windseed pedestal. Yeah, so... Salamando and the whip leads you to the girl, which is locked out, along with the bow, along with Sprite Magic. The axe also locks out everything in Dark Palace. That's where the javelin was. So the javelin is locked out of the seed as well. And whatever's on the Dark Seed pedestal is locked out too. Doppelgangers is locked out because we don't have an axe. Sunken City is locked out because, again, we don't have an axe. Did we check that Sunken City chest? I don't even know if we checked that chest. I don't remember. But yeah, this seed is actually pretty wild as to what was locked out. So we're forced to run Boy Sprite this seed with Girl Magic. And no real good access to Luna. I mean, you can get Luna if you go to Pure Land, get the Light Seed, leave, and then go check the pedestal. You can get Luna that way, but I don't think it's practical to. Especially if you're running a level 4 Lumina. I don't see that. I don't see that actually making up any time. I think you lose time by doing that. And then what else was left? Dryad, Shade. Shade I'm thinking is Witch's Castle or Water Seed pedestal. And Dryad, I have no idea. Dryad might be locked out too, for all we know. We know where Luna is. Salamander's locked out. Sylphid we got at the Treasury. No, Sylphid we got in Northtown Castle, I think, along with the Flaming Drum, right? I remember getting Sylphid there. So Sylphid is available. Gnome is available. Undini's not available. So as far as elementals, we have access to what, 5 of them? Gnome, Sylphid, Lumina, Luna, possibly Shade, maybe Dryad. I don't know. Dryad could be sitting somewhere on a boss check or something. But yeah, crazy seed though. All right, I'll see y'all next time. This was a crazy seed.